What up, big kids? Here's my big movie review of The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey in 3D. Now, this movie, before I start, I just want to say I haven't seen it yet in the new 48 frames per second. If you didn't know about this, this is one of the first films filmed in 48 frames per second. That's twice the normal 24 frames per second. It's supposed to be better, clear, better for 3D. I saw this in IMAX 3D, so I can talk about that. And if you want me to talk about the 48 frames, like an update video when I do plan to see it, just let me know in the comments below. But also, this is spoilerific, but this is based upon a book, so it is, if you read the book, you know what happens. And anyway, so Peter Jackson is back in another J.R. Tolkien masterpiece. Now, I actually want to say that when I was young, I remember watching the anime movie. My first taste into anything Lord of the Rings was The Hobbit. Like, the only characters I really knew up until the Lord of the Rings movies was, Bilbo Baggins, Gandalf the Grey, and of course Gollum. So I'm, like I said, like I knew more about those characters because I will be honest, like I do love the Lord of the Rings movies, but I never was a big fan, except for the Hobbit anime movie, like I mentioned, of the original books. I never got to read the original books as a kid. Like, I knew of them, but yeah, they're like I said, they're epic, and I even have now the extended editions on Blu-ray. Like I said, like I'm more of a superhero sci-fi guy, but yet these movies, even though they can be long, and this one definitely is long, and the pace, like I love the characters, I love the journey, and Peter Jackson does a great job. So after almost a decade since the Return of the King, how does this one stack up? Well, The Hobbit, of course, is a more lighthearted tale compared to the original Lord of the Rings trilogy. This takes place 60 years before the Fellowship happened with Bilbo. This movie starts off with Bilbo on his 111th birthday writing his memoirs about the story of that they're making this into a trilogy. And we have Frodo, which is great to see Elijah Wood, as well as many other characters and actors from the Lord of the Rings trilogy reprise roles, and there's going to be more throughout this trilogy. Now, Martin Freeman plays the younger Bilbo Baggins, and he does an awesome job. He, like I said, if they didn't have a good actor to really bring, since this is The Hobbit and he is the Hobbit in this, especially with a movie that's more dwarves and wizards, it's good to see a good actor really portray that. Because if you don't have a good actor as your main lead, this movie would fail. So Martin Freeman does an excellent job. He really is like at first very like, oh, I just want to enjoy my books and like my food, and I don't want to get in adventures. And he really thinks, no, wait, I want to be in an adventure. So very awesome. And of course, Ian McKellen, the great Ian McKellen, back as Gandalf the Grey. Loved Gandalf, and we saw him as Gandalf the White in the last two Lord of the Rings movies. But to see him back as the Grey, that was really awesome. I mean, even, if anyone knows the story, you get to see characters from Lord of the Rings, like Saruman, like Christopher Lee returns. That was awesome. So, but basically, this movie, like I said, the story is shorter. The actual book is shorter than one of the Lord of the Rings books, but they're making this movie into a trilogy. Now, two movies I can kind of see if you want to do it right. Like, I understand they do that in like the last Harry Potter book and the Twilight thing, but this one, I don't know if it really needs a trilogy. I know they're taking other J.R. Tolkien's material to put it, but I don't know if it really needs a trilogy. Because I'll be honest, like the first like half hour could have been condensed. Like, it didn't have to be as long. Like, they didn't even leave the Shire until like almost like 45 minutes in. But then after that, man, was awesome. Like I said, I really think this is kind of like the extended version, but if they made it, I don't know. I don't know why they're really prolonging it. I really don't see the need for making a trilogy, but I guess it's always good to be a trilogy. But anyway, with that aside, like the pacing, even though like any Peter Jackson movie, like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy and King Kong, it takes a while for it to pick up, but you do love these characters, the way they're introduced. Like there's just so many good like Thorin, Richard Armitage, like he does such a great job. He's such a badass. A lot of the dwarves, a lot of them I can't really, like Keely, Feely, and all these. There's so many dwarves, but they're all great and lovable. They all have their traits. So you know it's hard for all of them to get screen time, but they're all. I mean, even though you get kind of mixed up with them, you know, they're really, you know, some of them stick out. And but yeah, I mean, the first part, I guess where the story divides is like they're in the Shire. They go in the mountains. They meet the goblins and who kidnap them. There, of course, Smaug the dragon, which will be the big climactic part, probably in the third one. We do see glimpses of him, like how the dwarves' kingdom was, like, you know, destroyed by him, and all the gold and all that thing. And we do see the orcs in there and the goblins, and yeah. So I mean, basically, I guess it starts from the Shire and it ends at after the eagles save them. I guess that's, if you want to know, if you know the book and know the parts, then where the eagles save them and they're looking up ahead into the lonely mountain. Then that's the end of the movie, and they show Smaug like being awoken by a bird with the dragon. So that was cool. Basically, I mean, like all that stuff is just the stuff in between that, from that section to that end point. So you do see Bilbo meet Gollum for the first time and get the ring where he uses it, and Gollum is just awesome. Andy Serkis really deserves an Oscar, if not an Oscar nomination, for his performance. He is just incredible. The voice he does, the motion capture. That I could have watched the Gollum Bilbo riddles scene for like that. They should have put that longer scene instead of like the build up in the Shire. I mean, that's just my opinion, but and Gandalf is great. I just love the camaraderie of the dwarves and Bilbo, and it's just really great. I mean, the troll scene was great when Bilbo helps save them from the trolls and Gandalf, and just like there's so many good, like Radagast the Brown. Some people might call him the Jar Jar of the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movie, but I think he was cool. I mean, he was pretty funny. Like I said, the action scenes were awesome, like with the goblins and the like running away from the goblins was so cool, and the eagles and the orcs with the wolves, so cool. The 3D was really good. There was some times where it did strain though. I definitely can see how the 48 frames per second would have helped in the 3D department. Watching this in IMAX, I really wish it was filmed in IMAX and filmed in like IMAX 3D. That would have been better, but it was watching it definitely in a better platform. I haven't seen it in 2D, but if I'm going to watch it again 3D, I'll watch it in 48 frames. Otherwise, I'll just watch it in 2D. So if you really love The Lord of the Rings and we're really excited for this movie, and you do love 3D, then yeah, sure, watch it. And watch it in 48 frames. From what I hear, it does clear it up a lot, and it helps your eyes focus on the action a little bit more, because the action can be all over the place. But if you just don't care about 3D and you just want to enjoy the movie and without some strains, then just watch it in 2D. But overall, this movie is awesome. I really can't wait till the second one. Like I said, it could take a little time for it to pick up, but it can drag on some parts. But overall, I love it, and I can't wait for the next one. And I would give The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey a 4.5 out of 5. So definitely can't wait to see it. It's precious. So yeah. For more geek news, reviews, and more, check out bkbn.net. I'm Sean Long. Remember, celebrate your gnome in a big way.
Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. Go to bkbn.net. I tell you to go. Go now.
Hobbit home. Hobbit home. Damn it, Chartemis and John 3.0. You got that song stuck in my head. I'm going to be singing that instead of Christmas songs, I swear.